namaste, and hello. Welcome to the Art of Yoga project. My name is Lynn, and thank you for practicing here with me today. To begin our class, we'll start with a little warm-up exercise that's called ear pulls. So you can take your index finger and your thumb and lightly pull on the bottom of the earlobe. Okay, so while you're doing this, you might think about drawing your chin down slightly and relaxing the shoulders, sitting up tall, and just gently pulling down, noticing how it feels. Maybe you feel a slight release in your jaw. And gently rubbing on the earlobe, maybe starting to rub the part of your ear going up the sides. And you can change fingers. What does it feel like if you do the same thing, pulling with your middle finger or your ring finger, maybe several fingers? Does it feel good to use different fingers? If you'd like, you can press inside of the ear with the fingers. Just noticing how it feels, very softly rubbing the ears. You can even rub the area where the ear meets the head. Okay, rubbing around the back and the sides and the front. And as you're doing this, can you start to bring attention to your breath? You can close your eyes if you feel safe and comfortable, or just soften your gaze staring at an object on the floor. And can you feel your breath starting to slow down? Breathing in and out of the nose if it's comfortable. Maybe holding the ear pull and taking a deep inhale in, slowly exhaling out. Just noticing any sensations that arise. Take 2 more breaths just like this. And then releasing your hands down to your thighs or your knees. Sitting up tall, lengthening the spine. So in today's class, we're going to be practicing moon salutations. Moon salutations are a sequence of yoga poses that were designed for women, specifically women who were pregnant or menstruating. Equally important, moon salutations were also created to help all genders express the feminine principle. So in yoga classes, we often will warm up with some salutations. Sun salutations are very warming, heated practices. So today we'll do a moon salutation, and you might notice that the effect of a moon salutation is a little different than a sun salutation. Okay, so before we begin, let's just check in. And if you have your journal, I brought my journal today. If you have your journal, that's great. If you don't and you just want to use a piece of paper and a pencil, that's great. And if you don't have a journal or paper, you can just think about the question for check-in. So take a moment and grab your pencil if you're going to write it down. What is one step you can take in the direction of your intention? So I'll read it a couple times so you can have time to write it. Think of an intention for class today, for your practice. What is one step you can take in the direction of your intention? So one step you can take in the direction of your intention. And then the next question is, what can you let go of to create more space for that intention? What can you let go of to create more space for that intention? Another question, if you'd like a third one, what can I let go of to allow space to invite new opportunities? What can I let go of to allow space to invite new opportunities? So take a moment and write some ideas and thoughts. You can also take this moment to check in and see how you're feeling. How's your body feeling? Where are your thoughts today? How are you feeling physically and mentally and spiritually? If you want to write any of that in your journal before we begin class, just take a moment there. I'm feeling pretty good, a little bit tired, but it's a sunny day, so I feel a little bit of energy from the sun. So when you're ready to begin, just set your journal aside. We're going to start with our moon salutation. So in this practice, if it's possible for you to have your yoga mat like mine is, when we do the moon salute, I'm going to try to mirror you. So we'll be facing one another. Okay, so I'm going to start on my yoga mat. And so this means for you guys, you'll be starting on the far left side of your mat. So walk over to the left side of your mat and find mountain pose. So your feet are about hip distance apart. Your toes point straight forward. You could lift your toes and wiggle them. Kind of feel the earth underneath of you. And then we'll inhale, we'll reach our arms up above our head. Exhale as you side bend to your right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, step the feet wide. So you're in a star pose. The hands can face forward, spread the fingers. Nice. Inhale here, and then exhale to goddess pose. So I'm going to turn my toes out a little, heels in, bend the knees, bend the elbows, breathe. Okay, if this is too much, if your arms are tired, you can always bring your hands over onto your heart center, your chest. Good. We're going to inhale back to star pose, straighten the arms and legs. As you exhale, you're going to turn your feet over to the left. Okay, just turn the back foot in slightly, and the arms can come to shoulder height. Inhale here. Exhale, start to reach towards your front foot for triangle pose. Okay, so your top arm reaches up, your bottom arm reaches down. You might place the hand on your shin. You might bend your knee a little bit and press your shin into your hand. Some of you will straighten the front knee. Some of you will keep it bent. Just breathe here. Relax the shoulders. If the shoulders are creeping up to the ears, see if you can move them back. Allow a little more space. So from triangle pose, you can bring your top hand to your hip. And then we're going to keep pivoting the back foot so that the hips will turn towards the short edge of your mat. Okay. Inhale as your knee is bending, front knee bends. Exhale, start to straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Some of you will bring your hands to the floor. If you have a yoga block, you could use that for a lunge. The back leg is straight, the front knee is bending, just like in a runner's stretch. Good. You're going to lower the back knee, point the toes behind you, and then inhale, coming up to Anjaneyasana. Reach the arms up. You can spread the toes in your back foot. Press your feet into the floor. Take one more inhale here. Then exhale, bring your hands back down. And this time bring both hands on the inside of your foot. And start to pivot yourself around to the front of the mat. Lowering the buttocks, pointing your toes up to the ceiling. Okay, so you'll notice my heel pops off the floor. That's okay. If that's how your body is, then the heel can come up. Some people can keep the heel on the floor and bring their hands here. This kind of hurts my back a little, so I'm going to lift my heel and lower. Many different ways to practice. Make sure you're doing something that feels good for your body. Take one more breath here, and then we'll start to shift to come into a squat in the middle of the mat. So I'm going to heel toe my feet in a little bit closer. Inhale, and then exhale. Lower my buttocks, lift my hands to my heart for a yoga squat. Elbows are inside of the knees. You could be up here squatting. That's okay. Just squat where you feel comfortable. Some call this frog pose, malasana pose. There's many names, garland pose. One more breath like this. And then we'll bring our hands down, heel toe the feet back out. And then walk your hands towards your left foot. Anjaneyasana, or not Anjaneyasana, this pose where we lower our buttocks, point your toes up towards the ceiling. Breathe. Some of you will bring your hands to your heart. Some of you will keep your heel on the floor. Many variations. We'll walk our hands around. Keep walking around to the short side of the mat. You're in your runner's stretch again. Breathe. Lower your back knee. Point the toes. Inhale as you come up. And exhale as you come back down. Tuck the toes of the back foot. Lift the back knee. And you're going to step the back foot in a little bit. As you step your back foot forward, start to straighten your front knee as much as feels comfortable. Drawing that left hip back. Breathe. And then we'll open up to triangle pose. So some of you will keep your left hand on the floor. Some of you will move your left hand up onto your shin and then reach the right arm up. Triangle. So the knee can be bent a little or you can straighten it. You might even think of the breath here, lengthening both sides of the waist. Good. And then we'll bring ourselves all the way up with an inhale, coming out to star pose. Exhale, bending the knees to goddess. Good. Inhale, straightening up one more time. Exhale as you step to your right. Mountain pose again. Inhale here. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, mountain pose. Pause for a moment, notice the effect. So we'll practice this again so that we can finish the practice where we started on the other side of the mat. So let's start on this side. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, step apart, star pose. Good, pause for a breath here. Turn the toes out, heels in. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bend the knees and the elbows. Holding goddess pose, 3 breaths. If you'd like to, you can bring the hands over the heart, or you can keep the arms up, your choice. Go back to the intention you set for class before we started. Feel that intention. Honor that intention. We're gonna inhale, straighten back up. This time we're turning our toes to the left. So turn your feet to the left slightly. Inhale, as you exhale, triangle pose. Both legs are straight unless you need to bend the front knee a little. You can bend the left knee if that helps. Press your hand into your shin, reach the top arm up. I like to inhale as I bend the front knee, exhale as I straighten. Just micro bending, little tiny bends. Nice. Then we'll bring the top hand to the hip. Start to think about turning your hips to the back, to the short edge of your mat. So we're turning this way. Right? You can bring both hands to the hips if that helps, and maybe even shorten your stance a little. If your feet are in 2 lanes instead of on a tightrope, it'll be a little easier to balance. So drawing your right hip back, inhale as you exhale, start to fold forward. You can bend the front knee a little if you need to, if the hamstrings are tight. Good. Some of you can bring the hands to the floor or blocks, and then drawing that left hip back. If your hamstrings are super tight, bend your front knee. Good. And then we're coming into that low lunge, so you can lower the right knee, point the toes, press into the top of your back foot, and inhale as you come up. Anjaneyasana, breathe. You can look up if it feels okay in your neck. Otherwise, just gaze straight forward. One more inhale. And then exhale, bring your hands down beside your big toe, right, on the inside of your foot, and start to tuck the back toes. We're turning towards the camera, towards the front of the mat, towards me, and coming into that nice deep squat on where you straighten the right leg is straight and the toes are pointing up. This one's really hard for me. I need to practice this more, I think. Good. We'll come back to the middle of the mat. Keep walking the hands to the middle. Heel toe your feet in. And then we'll lower the buttocks for the yoga squat. Okay, breathe. Our hips get very tight when we sit a lot. So practicing the yoga squat is very, very good for helping you improve the flexibility and the strength in your hips. One more breath here. Exhale, bring the hands back down, heel toe the feet out wide. And then we'll come into this pose on, you keep walking towards the right, straighten the left leg, flex the foot, toes point up at the ceiling. Breathe. Feel the breath. Feel the heart beating. We'll come back up and start to walk the hands. Continue walking them to the right. And then lowering your left knee, pointing the toes behind you. Inhale, reach the arms up. And breathe. Maybe take the gaze up. Maybe just look straight forward over the tip of your nose. Okay? Press into your back foot just as much as the front foot. One more full breath. And exhale, bring the hands down to the floor. You're going to tuck the toes in your back foot, straighten the back knee, and then step the back foot in a little bit so your stance is shorter. The front knee can be bent, or you can start to straighten it, stretching the hamstrings. Inhale as you bend, exhale as you straighten. Couple more breaths just like that. Good. And then we'll keep the right hand either on the floor or on the shin and reach up with the left hand. Shoulders draw back. You might turn the back foot out slightly, more perpendicular. Breathe. It's okay to bend the front knee. Maybe trying to straighten it. Shoulders back. And then we'll inhale to come all the way up, star pose again. Exhale, bending the knees to Goddess. Pause for a couple breaths. Hands can be over the heart. Going back to your intention for class. What can you let go of to create more space? Inhale back to star pose. Exhale, step back over to the left side where you started. Inhale here. Exhale, side bend to your right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale back to center. And exhale, hands to the heart. Nice job. So let's come down onto the floor and just take a moment in bridge pose. So having your feet about hip distance apart, lying flat on the back. And again, if you'd like to, you can bring your hands onto your tummy. You could bring your left hand to your heart, your right hand to your lower belly. Just check in with your breath. Notice how your body's feeling after this practice. And then just doing a little bridge pose, just lifting up your hips as you inhale. You can have your hands on your hips. Exhale as you come back down. A couple more times. Inhale up and exhale down. Try to move with the breath. Inhale up and exhale down. And draw your knees in towards your chest, rocking side to side. You can take the knees over to the left side with the arms in a low T. Take a couple breaths here. You could turn your head towards your right hand if it's comfortable on your neck. Inhale back to center. Exhale, take the knees over to the right side. Maybe turn the head to the left if it's comfortable. If not, just keep your chin in line with your sternum, your chest. Inhale back to center. And then as you exhale, prepare for Shavasana. You could either keep the knees bent with the knees resting together, or you could straighten the legs. And turn the palms of the hands up towards the ceiling. Walk your shoulders away from your ears. Just let the fingertips curl naturally. And soften the gaze. You can gaze over the tip of your nose, or if you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. I'm just going to get up so I can read you something while you're in your Shavasana. So just relax, lying on your back if you're comfortable, finding a comfortable position to rest and breathe. Relax the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. Let the eyes soften. Look at the world around you and observe a multitude of rhythmic cycles. There is the 24-hour cycle of the sun as it revolves around the earth. As each day becomes night and then becomes day again. There is the rhythmic cycle of each season merging into the next. The winter snows melt. The seedlings sprout. The sun beats its rays on a warm, sunny day, and the leaves begin to dry up and fall and float away. There is the rhythmic cycle of aging, the sweet and expansive nature of a baby, the ambitions of a teen and an adult, and the contemplative nature of our elders. Ayurveda is the practice of observing nature's rhythms and aligning ourselves with them. We honor the cycle of the sun by sleeping at an appropriate hour. We acknowledge the shifting seasons by favoring a seasonal diet. We honor the phases of our lives by being students as children, striving toward our ambitions as adults, and pursuing contemplative study as we age. As women, we have additional senses of rhythm that connect us to the cycles of the moon. Each month, a woman's body has the ability to cleanse and rejuvenate itself through her menses. It used to be in traditional cultures that women would menstruate together during the dark night of the new moon. During this time, they would gather to support one another in a journey of deep introspection. During the dark night of the moon, during the night of the dark moon, when there's no moon in the sky, women are encouraged to look within and practice introspection. It is believed that her energy in relationship to the moon is at its lowest point. To safeguard her well-being, she's advised to spend time in quiet rest and inward reflection. When the moon is full, women are at their highest point energetically. She's encouraged to be more externally expansive, to get involved socially, and to finish long-term projects. Ayurveda teaches that this cyclical sway of energy exists inside each woman to cause her to wax and wane between experiences of self-inquiry and interactions with the external world. In Ayurveda, the Shakti Prana is our feminine energy, of every woman exists in her womb. Her strength is found here and affects her on every level of her health. The cycles, the wax and wane, the natural emotional flow of the female is regarded as sacred. Ayurveda teaches us that it is interwoven within a woman's DNA to be an emotional being that fluctuates in emotional experience. This emotion is what makes her beautiful. It births her psychic nature, attunement with the cosmos, intuition, and empathy. During the new moon time, the natural period of menstruation, women are invited to take advantage of their sacred time of natural purification by going inward, extending meditation, refraining from intense activities, and allowing rest. Modern times have demanded that many of us turn our backs on this beautiful process. It's interesting that the very thing that makes a woman sacred is culturally viewed as an inconvenience. This has made many young women ashamed and even disgusted by her natural bodily processes. It has also left a wake of confusion regarding the emotional rhythm a woman experiences every month. Every month, a woman has the natural ability to shed toxins, emotions, and physical blocks that no longer serve her. Her body cleanses and rejuvenates itself during her menses, during the period of the dark moon. When we don't take advantage of this time, we threaten the vital Shakti Prana that exists inside us. We disturb our energy levels and we step out of sync with the natural harmony that attempts to guide us. The full moon also has its energetic advantages. It calls us forth to activity, ceremony, new projects, overcoming obstacles, and using external energy. By taking advantage of this natural fluctuation, by resting more during new moon, and participating in externally motivated activities during the full moon, we heighten our Shakti Prana and enhance our inner harmony. So if you're still lying down in Shavasana, please take a few deep breaths there. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. On your next exhale, you can gather your knees into your chest, roll to your side, and pause there. Take a deep breath there. When you're ready, you can come up to seated. I'm going to close the class now, but I encourage you to take out your journals, write a little bit more about what you experienced with your moon salutation today. Thank you for practicing with the Art of Yoga YouTube channel. Thank you for practicing with me. Thank you for showing up to class today, showing up on your mat. The light within me sees and honors the light within you. Namaste. Thank you.